Why would somebody buy from your high-ticket dropshipping store? I think this is one of the most interesting questions among the world of high-ticket dropshipping. If someone is shopping for something that costs a lot of money, thousands of dollars, what is it about your store that will make them actually buy from them? Do they actually buy from stores like yours and mine? Um, Short answer is yes, but the question is why? This is a question that I get all the time. Why would somebody buy a $1,500 water pump from my store if they could just go directly to the manufacturer and buy the same thing, or go to a more established business and buy the same thing? And the answer is kind of complex because there are lots of reasons why this might be the case. Um, I guess for one thing, why would they buy from you instead of the manufacturer? Well, a lot of the time, manufacturers don't even sell directly to the consumer, so you can kind of knock that piece off of it. But let's assume that they do. Why would somebody not just go to the manufacturer? Well, the short answer is they might. And there's really no real compelling reason for them not to just go to the manufacturer and buy the exact same product that you are selling of that manufacturer's. I have been in many situations over the years where in Google Ads, in organic ranking, like my competitors are at the same time my suppliers. Like I'm actually competing online, selling the same products as they are directly to consumer. And so when it comes down to whether or not a customer buys from you or buys from them, at the end of the day, that's up to the customer, and how you can influence that decision by the customer comes down to other things. Sometimes it can come down to maybe a price point. Like maybe you are offering a better discount than your supplier is. A quick note, a lot of times, most of the time, suppliers, manufacturers will enforce MAP, or minimum advertised price, with their dealers. This isn't a blanket rule for all suppliers in all industries. There are plenty of industries that don't really have MAP, but in a lot of them, and all of them that I've ever worked in, MAP is a thing. And basically what MAP means is this manufacturer holds all of their dealers to the same standards. So they're selling the same set of products, and they're saying none of their dealers are allowed, if they want to work with them, to advertise any of their products above a or below a certain price that they set. So let's just take product A. Product A is a $1,500 water pump. $1,500 is the MAP price. And so what that manufacturer is saying is that no dealer that is carrying this product can advertise that product anywhere less than $1,500. And if they do, they're going to get a slap on the wrist, or they're not going to be able to sell our products anymore. Certain companies are more strict on this than others, but basically what this does is it protects all dealers from a race to the bottom, if you will. It protects the margins of the dealer. And so you're not competing at price at that point, at least in advertising. You're competing more so on how well is your website set up, how good is your customer service, that sort of thing. So kind of keeping that in mind, that kind of enters the mix when we're talking about why would somebody buy from your store versus somebody else. Let's assume we're all selling at the same price. It's the same product. It's from the same brand. So what separates you from the pack, and why would somebody entrust you with their money? Well, this is something that is kind of learned over time with any business. I can give you endless advice up front as far as what to put on your website, and a lot of it, like, I think is kind of true to almost any industry. So examples of this are like trust factors. So like the messaging that says like authorized dealer, free shipping, a clear support number if they need it, just all kind of the basics that make it look like you're a trusted brand or a trusted source for this product. What it also comes down to is like a really nice professional looking website, like distinct colors that contrast with each other, like in a good way. You know, all these little things, all the way down to like the add to cart button, subconsciously or consciously affect the probability that a customer is going to convert on a website. It's really fascinating. I think at the end of the day, what will influence whether you get a sale or not over somebody else selling the same product at the same price is how easy the buying experience is for the customer, whether they're calling in or just shopping on your website. Let's talk about shopping on your website. If you want to really succeed in the long term, or to any degree with this, especially in today's e-commerce age, the best way to stand out is if you really understand your products and you convey that you understand your products on your website. And so what this looks like, and I've talked about this in other videos, is like really taking note of what customers are asking. Are there frequently asked questions? And if so, maybe it makes sense to ask those questions at the top of the page immediately, so a customer like has their question answered right away, right when they land on the page. Is it a complicated product? Like, is everything that they need to know, can they learn everything they need to know about the product within the first 30 seconds of landing on the product page? The product page is the most important page on your website. It's where 99% of your traffic is going to land. And so that's a huge piece of it. Do they know exactly what they're buying when they land on your website? And then the other piece is customer service over the phone. You know, at first, when you first get started, you're not going to be as quick at answering questions that you just don't know the answer to. A lot of times, luckily, the question can actually be answered by just looking at the product page itself, and the customer just like didn't read it. I'll tell you, shoppers are lazy. Online shoppers are lazy. They're going to miss things. They're going to miss information. All this stuff you kind of know is there because you created the product pages. So that's just kind of a side note. Like at first, it's either going to be referencing like the product brochure or manual, whatever kind of materials you have from the supplier. If you can't find the answer, basically what you have to tell them is like, listen, I don't know the answer right now. If you give me 5 minutes, I can find the answer for you and I will call you right back. And basically that's you calling the supplier and getting the answer to the question and then calling them back. And even though this feels awkward and like you're like, oh, they probably think I'm an idiot, like they don't think this is a good source, I think what outweighs that is it conveys a sense of honesty, that you don't know the answer, you want to find it for them, you value their business, and I think that's something that speaks louder than not knowing the answer to the question. And so all that comes down to what kind of experience do you give the customer, whether you're talking to them or you're not talking to them. And that's something that I go so in depth with in my program. Link is in the description below. If you're wanting to start a high ticket dropshipping business, there are a lot of tangible things that go into this. There are a lot of intangible things that go into this. I have 5 years of experience in it. And I've kind of culminated all of it into a single program. I'm in the process of releasing the second version of the program, which comes out later this month. If you get in right now, you'll get the current price. And you'll be grandfathered into the new program, which will be a lot more expensive once it's released. So that's just a side note there. So going back to the initial question, why would somebody buy from your high ticket dropshipping store? There's not a single answer to it. The answer is something that you will kind of find in your own business journey and your own business experience, what makes you stand out. It's not a one-size-fits-all thing. But I hope that some of these little things that I kind of talked about that play into the whole scheme of converting a high-paying customer, add some value and kind of add some clarity to this, because like I said, it's one of the most common questions that I get is, okay, this all sounds really cool, but at the end of the day, would somebody actually spend several $1,000s on a website that I built? And I am telling you, the answer is unequivocally yes. So, hope that was helpful. We'll see you guys in the next one.